Wow, I really didn't think I'd actually ever make this video, but here we are. Thank you everyone for 1000 subscribers. Without your support, this would not have been possible. Oh, and special thanks to those of you who have left kind and supportive comments. It's really motivating to see and very much appreciated, so thanks once again. Alright, so considering that this is indeed the first major milestone for any channel, I thought I'd document what I've learned after doing YouTube for coming up to around 6 months at this point. Some of the things I did, lessons I've learned along the way, and even some advice I would give to someone just starting out. Because there are a few things I wish I knew before I started. Because I mean, believe it or not, it's really hard to get 1000 subscribers on YouTube, especially if you start out with exactly zero experience like I did. I'll leave chapters below to help you skip to the bit that you like. Alright, let's begin. What did I learn? Well, I've definitely learned that video production has a very steep learning curve in the beginning. Let me explain. Now, if you've never had a YouTube channel or haven't got much experience in regards to what it takes to make a video from start to finish, then you might not appreciate how much of a long-term game YouTube can be, because I certainly didn't. According to TubeBuddy, which is a tool that tracks and monitors YouTube channels, it takes an average channel around 152 uploads to reach between 1k to 10k subscribers. So even if we're generous and estimate an average of 100 uploads to reach 1k subscribers, and then you do the maths on that, that's 2 uploads every week for around a year, and then some more maybe, just to get to 1000 subscribers. Not to mention, something that can be easily overlooked from an outside perspective is just how long it can take to make each video. Now, this will very much depend on the type of videos that you make, but these 10 things are generally universal when it comes to making YouTube videos for any niche, from scripting to video editing to thumbnail creation and analyzing your analytics. I mean, it is seriously like learning 10 different skills all at once from scratch. Like, in the beginning, you'll spend hours and hours absorbing lots of information on the ins and outs of your video editing program, making sure that your setup is just right and obsessing over the tiny details that don't make a massive difference in the grand scheme of things, which is normal, but it can be quite time consuming. And when you have to balance life as well, it can be pretty challenging to create consistent content. Though I'm currently enjoying the process and seeing the channel grow, my long-term goal would be to have a monetized channel. As while I have a good amount of free time at the moment, in the future I'll likely have an increased number of commitments. I'll touch upon monetization towards the end of the video if you're interested. If there's one thing that you should take away from this video, if you're thinking about possibly starting a channel, again from someone who just 6 months ago didn't even know how to record the screen or what video editing software was, then it's to maintain consistency, but not in a typical sense, but rather because it will force the habit of creating videos, learning from your mistakes because you're actually making videos, learning what people who view your channel like to watch because you're actually making videos, and will help YouTube to understand what your channel is about because again, you're actually making videos. Can you see a theme here? Anyway, let's quickly touch upon the timescales and what I did to get to 1000 subscribers. So looking at my channel, you'll notice that I've been quite fortunate to have found an audience and reached 1000 subscribers after getting around 53,000 channel-wide views, publishing around 25 videos and sticking to a 1 video per week schedule for the last 6 months, which I would say is pretty decent, but it wasn't always smooth sailing. Looking at my subscriber chart, you'll notice how the growth on this channel is quite exponential, in the sense that most of the growth only came in the last few months. I mean, I hit 100 subscribers after 3 months of consistently uploading to YouTube, and only took another 3 months in order to get to 1000 subscribers. And in the beginning, it was particularly challenging, because after 2 months of consistently posting, I only had a few views and had gained around 14 subscribers, so I knew that staying consistent was key. In regards to the videos themselves, I'm based in the technology niche, along with providing various computer and productivity tips. My most viewed video so far was a OneNote tips and tricks guide, which has gained around 15,000 views and has produced roughly 800 hours of watch time. I also have a few videos at this point that have gained over 1,000 views. In terms of the total content, I've made 26 videos at the time of recording, which equates to around 155.4 minutes of content, which is around 2.6 hours worth of video playback. Based on this, I personally found that many people like my website series of videos, closely followed by various Windows 11 content, which is great to see. Now, while the common advice is to find something that works and just stick to it and then make videos only on that, I personally disagree. This is because some of my earliest videos that did well were surrounding websites, and if I'd just made website videos, this might have concentrated my audience or limited my growth in the long term. The strategy and approach that I took and worked for me was to find similar topics to that of the successful videos and try and reach a larger, broader audience while still remaining within my niche. Yeah, try not to make videos on completely random, unrelated topics. Like for example, my Windows content was received relatively well, but I wouldn't have known about this if I'd just carried on making website videos only, for example. In regards to the actual production of these videos, I use an iPhone 13 Pro to be exact, an XPS 15 laptop that I bought a few years ago for university, and that's it. All the videos that you see on this channel are made with those 2 core tools, nothing more and nothing less. I record my voice and audio through my phone, not too shabby I don't think, and the rest of the clips in my videos are just screen recordings or doodles that I do, so I can attest that it is indeed possible to get to 1000 subscribers with simply just your phone and a laptop or computer. Though I do appreciate this depends on your niche, as other niches will require a different type of video style and format that may require different production gear and resources. Now, this format certainly does have its benefits, benefits in the sense that I don't need much equipment to produce my videos, but also has some cons in the sense that it can take quite a lot of time to make them. For example, in the beginning, the whole process from not even knowing what I'd make a video about to having the final product as a watchable video took me around 4 hours just to make 1 minute of video. Now that time has come down to around 3 hours, sometimes going to 2 to make 1 minute of video, which might not sound like a lot, but when you consider that these videos are far more concise, far more dense in information because I cut out all the dead air and breaths, better quality I'd hope, as well as the length of my videos generally being a lot longer, I don't think this is all too bad. Again, this is really quite a rough estimate, so do take this with a grain of salt, as I generally just log what I roughly think I've spent on each video in this Excel sheet, with the additional fact that each video is slightly different in the time that it can end up taking across various elements, whether that be more on the editing side of things or more on the scripting side, which for the more experienced content creators out there, you might feel this is extremely inefficient, and I might think the same too in the distant future, but for now it's the best that I can do personally to produce a level of quality that I feel happy with, especially as the videos on YouTube stay there for a long time into the future. It's also the small things that really take the time, like cutting out breaths in the voiceover that you're listening to right now to make the video as compact as possible, deciding what's on screen at what time, when zooms happen, what font you're going to use in the thumbnail, etc, etc. All these things you just learn along the way throughout the process. Oh, and one thing I definitely learned was the fact that you should really try to have a backlog of videos prepared if you can, so if there's some weeks that pop up where you have some unexpected life event happen, it won't destroy your consistency. Alright, let's now move on to some of the mistakes that I made. So I think the first one is pretty universal, and that's the fact that you should learn how to use your video editing software and particularly your photo editing software well. I feel the photo editing software side of things can be often overlooked, but it's just as important. If people don't click, they don't watch. Mr. Beast. Oh, and in regards to the software, I use DaVinci Resolve for video editing and GIMP for photo editing because they're both free. If you're starting out with no experience, these are the programs you should be using. Don't even bother looking at Adobe's expensive products. Following on from that, while I'd say I've been consistently learning and absorbing the ins and outs of the DaVinci Resolve application, there's certain nuanced things that I wish I could have done sooner as well. This could be like setting a custom keyboard layout to the controls I use most, or deciding to spare a couple of minutes to Google something to see if there's a quicker way to do that thing, because most likely someone's been there before you and found a way to make your life easier. Stuff like that, and just taking a more proactive approach to learning. I know it can be pretty overwhelming at first with the amount of controls, menus and tabs when you first start video editing, but it's best to take things one step at a time. Oh, and a big mistake I made towards the start was not learning how to use my photo editing software properly. In the beginning, I was trying to avoid using it, and my thumbnails were passable but not great. Then there came a point where I decided to learn the software properly and learn how to make decent looking thumbnails, and only after that did I see some of my views increase and growth on the channel. Talking about views, another mistake is just constantly checking your analytics. I mean, checking them is really not going to change anything, especially in the beginning, because in my experience, the first 24 hours might give you a vague indication of how a video will perform in the long run, but even then, it's not a guarantee, and it's best to let things play out. I've got a handful of videos to be low ranking initially, but then push through a few days later. I mean, it also depends on the type of impression that you get as well, whether it's being suggested, browse, or search as some of the main ones. So yeah, there's a lot of factors at play here. I mean, at this point, I've come to realize that most of my videos get a bunch of impressions in the suggested form really early on, and then YouTube puts its foot down on the browse-based impressions a period of time later, after it learns which type of viewer likes the video, which is where most of the performance happens for my videos. Though I cannot stress the importance of end screens as well, because I literally had a dead video which I thought was pretty good content-wise, but just hadn't really been picked up, so I added it to the end of a more successful video that was relevant to it, and from then on, it got some impressions and views. So yeah, don't underestimate the power of keyword here, relevant end screens. But yeah, as you can tell, there's a whole load of technical information that you can go into in regards to your video performance, and it's good to get familiar with these metrics. So if you keep spending lots of time in YouTube Studio, or you're just refreshing the page over and over, you're probably better off spending the time making a video instead. And a final mistake is comparing your progress to others. Everyone's got and starts out with a different level of experience, so comparing your progress to someone else who might have already, for example, had exposure to making content or video editing software before starting their channel isn't really a fair comparison, and just puts you in the negative mindset, especially if you start wondering why you're not growing as fast as others. Not to mention, some of it just comes down to luck, to be honest, but this is not something that anyone has any control over. So if anything, I'd recommend comparing yourself to your past self and trying to improve with every upload by a tiny bit each time. I mean, just go back to some of my earliest videos and you'll see how terrible they were, but most importantly, above all, they were a start, which is what matters. And finally now, just to wrap up with some closing thoughts. So now that the channel has 1,000 subscribers, what now? Well, I think the logical thing here would be to work towards monetization as the next key milestone, because believe it or not, this channel hasn't generated any income so far. In regards to the requirements you need to have, it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours. I find the latter of which particularly challenging, as I only have 25 videos or so published to the channel, but remain optimistic that I can hit this target through consistency, especially considering that I've managed to get 2,000 hours of this target within the first 6 months of creating videos. But again, I appreciate that YouTube is a long-term process, so so we'll continue to work towards this. Currently, it's great to see consistent growth in my videos and becoming better at creating videos one step at a time. And knowing that I've made an impact to at least one person's life out there or help them in their day, I think that's pretty cool. So if you're thinking about starting a channel, then go for it. But also be sure to maintain a long-term mindset and keep in mind that everyone's progress is different. At the end of the day, every view, subscriber, or engagement is valuable and is someone on the other side of the internet taking the time to listen to what you have to say, which is something that can often be taken for granted. So once again, I appreciate anyone who has interacted with my videos in any way. Though, if you're new here, then be sure to consider checking these videos out. And if you have any thoughts or questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below the like button. I do reply to every comment when I can. But anyway, thank you once again for all your support, and I'll see you in the next video.